we're going to have our very own Claude Big Stone Sinclair give his tribute.
A very pleasant good afternoon to each and every one of you. All protocols observed. Today I cannot believe that we're actually here at the memorial, the candlelight, the ninth night after Jessica transition. I cannot believe we're here, but we're here. First, I want to offer my sincerest of condolences to the Mbangeni family all the way in South Africa, all of South Africa, all of her fans scattered across the four corners of the earth. I want to offer you my sincerest of condolences. Jessica, or let me rephrase that, Bishop Dr. Jessica Mbangeni. I met her in 2017 after I saw an explosive performance at IRFM. I was shocked. I could not believe that a woman had so much power on the stage. She was moving left and right and said, Africa, I am an African. And trust me, she moved every bones in my body. When I saw her, tears came from my eyes because she brought hope to a country at that time that is bleeding and continues to bleed. Jessica must have remembered the 1976 Soweto uprising when little Hector Peterson, the first child, was murdered. She came to Jamaica. I was introduced by Sharon Oshun Paris Chambers. We took her to every single nook and cranny of Jamaica. She wanted not just to go to these fancy hotels or fancy restaurants. She wanted to meet the people of Jamaica. So what I did along with Eru Aisha Kamusa Menelik, the Paul Bogle Foundation, Sharon Oshun Chambers, and all the others that accommodated us, I took her to see us, our people, her people. One memorable trip would be the slave dungeons of Seminole. When Jessica Mbangeni exploded like she was in a trance, talking to our ancestors. What blew my mind was when she got to the entrance of the slave dungeons of Seminole, which is a dungeon that was established over 400 years ago by our colonizers. They took us from the water and stored us, no roof, no windows, but this massive concrete structure. And trust me, Jessica spoke to the ancestors. She sang the same songs that the Kumna was singing. And then she spoke in her language. And then she brought gifts to the ancestors and she walked the four corners of the cave of Seminole. A heart bleed. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we took her to the sacred ground of Nanny of the Maroons. Yes, all the way in Portland. And she pour libation and speak to the ancestor, Queen Nanny, in her native language, of course. And then we took her to the shrine of Marcus Messiah Garvey. She stand here and she saluted the greatest black man that was ever born from a woman, Marcus Messiah Garvey. Then we took her to the shrine of Shamshad. And she cried because she felt the spirit of Sam Sharp. Because I told her, I said, Sam Sharp is one of those slaves that was resilient, one of those slaves that didn't take yes for an answer. He made the answers that he needed. 1835 saw the Christmas Day massacre. And when people died and lost their life as a revolution cause, you know, They wanted to give him freedom. While the gallows were being built, he was in a slave, and he looked at the gallows and they showed him and said, Champ, you're an obedient slave. What got into you? You're very intelligent. What got into you to come to us and overthrow us on Christmas Day or Boxing Day? We give you freedom if you keep your mouth shut. And he turned to them with all of Africa, 400 million Africans standing on his shoulders, and he said, I'd rather die on yonder gallows than live the life of a slave. What kind of man that is? I feel goose pimple running all across my body. We talk about Paul Bogle to Jessica, and we told Jessica that Paul Bogle was a multi-millionaire. In those days, owns over 5,000 acres of land, cattle, acres and businesses and everything that it is. And when he saw the plight of the people, he gave up his own life for the struggle. We told Jessica everything. We took her to Tivoli Gardens when we had the 2010 massacre, or the incursion they call it, where over 378 people were murdered. We took her to speak to these women. One woman was kicked by a military personnel. She's over 60 years old, and you know, she saw her lady thing many years ago. And on that day when she was kicked, her cycle started all over again from that tip and spot. Jessica saw that with her own eyes. She spoke with the people. She prayed with them. And we took her to Honored Gardens to meet George Mbangeni. People and the children that you see Jessica hugging right here, this is in Honored Garden. When she came, she was surrounded by children, because you know Jessica loved children. She loved children. And they just flocked her and just hugged her and mama. And she was all into them. This is like 5 years ago, so most of those children are grown much more. We took Jessica to all of that. We took Jessica to Montego Bay to celebrate Jimmy Cliff. Boulevard being open, she sung for one of the greatest reggae musicians, a legend, an icon, Jimmy Cliff. And she sung for him, performed for him as well. We took Jessica every place that we think was very important. And trust me, she delivered. So Bishop Jessica Mbangeni, my heart hurts, but I know you're rising in power. I know you're with our ancestors. They're hugging you and welcoming you to the spot that is so rightly yours. A little sooner, but it is your position, and to stay there and to guide us on the struggle, because we will never give up the fight, Jessica. You came and you ignited this fire. We will never give up the fight. We will continue to fight and fight and fight and fight until victory is won. That would make you smile, Mama. We miss you. We love you. We honor you. And we will never, ever forget you. The clothes that I'm wearing today was given to me by Jessica Mbangeni. She said, Big Stone, you stand like a king. You walk like a king. You are a king. And she adorned me with the Quanto Afrocentric designs. I raise my staff and I salute you, Mama. I will never ever forget you. And everything that we do in your honor. Tonight was very quickly organized. We want to big up people like Erica Boswell Monroe. She poured out. She supported this cause. We want to pick up my friend Orville Williams all the way in Canada. When I reached out to Orville and said, Orville, we need help. Help us, Orville. And he was there. He pushed out. So we salute these two icons, these two great people that helped us. And all the others, Eruai Shakamusa Menelik, Isis Miller, who worked so hard, and Sharon, we worked tirelessly to make it what it is today. Very chic. You know, when someone dies, we don't have plan in advance. This is just action as it is. I raise my baton and I salute you, Mom. Will always and forever.
To Jessica.
Bishop, Dr. Jessica Tambela Mbangeni. Thank you.
Thank you.